Okay, so some of you guys know me and my rescue, Under One Sky Animal Rescue, and you probably know that I specialize in disabled and special needs cats, and I also do some wildlife rehab, specializing in possums. One of the things that I do is I have a YouTube channel that people that have special needs animals can watch tutorials on how to take care of them, because it is rather daunting and difficult in the beginning when if something happens to your animal and they get disabled. And so I teach people how to express the bladders, extract the poop, and my husband lovingly calls me the poop and pee queen because that's kind of my expertise area, is extracting, bowels and expressing bladders. And right now I'm actually talking to and helping a young lady in India. Her cat, this is kind of actually pretty horrible, but he got impaled on a wrought iron fence about a week or so ago, but he's doing better, and I'm helping her to learn how to take care of his needs, because it's pretty hard at first. So those are some of the things I do. We have 3 paraplegics here and 2 other incontinent cats, so 5 incontinent cats here. I also am going to start doing TNR, and I'm going to be working with Panther City TNR Coalition. I'm going to start doing TNR in my neighborhood. So Alice Duncan is here somewhere. She's with Panther City, so I want to say hi and thank you, Alice, for joining. I'm pretty much a one-woman show, and I do everything from caring for all the animals every single day, and also all the social media and everything. But I do want to give a shout out to my one and only amazing volunteer, April Vasquez. She is here too. She has, if it wasn't for her, I would have a really horrible website. And she's really amazing, and she's helped me a lot with some of the graphics. And for the fundraiser, she did all the nice, beautiful work on the website and the graphics that I've been posting. And she also is super creative and made these really awesome Christmas ornaments that were a big hit for our last fundraiser. So thank you, and hello, April. That's pretty much what I do. It's a lot of work, but it's labor of love. And I just want to help people, learn about special needs, and that a disability is not a death sentence for an animal, that they can actually live really wonderful lives. And if you go onto the website, you can see all of our little special needs kitties that they're just thriving and have the best life. They're all like little kings and queens, and they have a better life than I do. So, they just, people think, and especially veterinarians, they first thing they do when someone comes into the vet and their cat might be paralyzed or got hit by a car or something, is they want to euthanize. But what I try to be an advocate for is that, special needs animals can live normal, happy lives. And especially if you just have one special needs, it's really not that hard to take care of them. It gets a little more challenging when you have 13 special needs animals, but when it's just one, you can learn to care for their needs pretty quickly, and you can both, enjoy each other's company. And it's a wonderful thing to be able to help animals like that. They're so inspiring. They inspire me every day, because life is hard, but they just get on with it. They might not be able to use their back legs or whatever, but they just keep going. And that's what I really love about, special needs kitties and all other special needs animals too. So that kind of sums up what I do. And like I said, you can go on the website and you can learn more about what I actually do, and also on all social media, Instagram and Facebook. So what I did want to mention is that the raffle winners, I'm going to announce them at the end of the event. So stick around for that. There are 5 winners. And then this is a recorded event, so I hope you guys are all okay with that. What else? I'm reading this, sorry. Oh, leave your camera on. Meredith already said that. Am I forgetting anything, Meredith?
Nope, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
Thanks everybody for joining. It means a lot to me, everyone that showed up. Super excited. So I'm not going to take up any more time and just let this awesome event start.
Awesome. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
So, hi, I'm Meredith Tollison. I am the co-director of the Animal Communication Collective. I'm happy to see all of you here tonight. We've had a really good time working with Heather over the last month or so, getting this event together. We're super excited to do it tonight. We are the Animal Communication Collective is the brainchild of Karen Dendy Smith, who is one of our readers tonight. Um, just over a year, about 15, 16 months ago, Karen introduced this idea, and so many of us were super excited about it. We jumped in and we've made it happen. And we have worked with numerous organizations from coast to coast, and we are starting to work with some international organizations, which is phenomenal. We have over 30 members. We are international at the moment. We are a women led organization. We may have some men joining us here shortly. We are all trained together as animal communicators. And the type of animal communication that we do is called soul level animal communication. I believe that every animal comes into our lives at a particular time in a particular place to work with us on our own personal spiritual growth and development, for whatever the word spiritual means for you. We communicate with the animals. They share with us a lot of information that directs us to how to make our lives better as we're working with them. It's amazing. Our animals have succeeded in figuring out the concept of unconditional love, which is something that all of us as humans should aspire to. And the things that they share with us are pretty amazing. My journey in this process started quite a few years ago. I've met this amazing group of women along the way, and I'm just thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled to be able to share this ability, this um gosh, it's not here's the thing. It's not necessarily a gift, an ability. It's something that we're all born with. We all have this ability to listen to speak to our animals. It's just learning to accept that, learning to build on those skills. It's like any muscle. The more that you practice it, the more that you work it, the better your ability becomes. So we've all gone through a lot of training, a lot of schooling. We're all certified in this process, and we're thrilled to be able to share this with you tonight. Um, there's an introduction of the Animal Communication Collective, a group of people who have come together to try and use the things that we can do to help animal welfare organizations. We understand that there are lots of folks like Heather who are out there busting it, making it happen, doing the hard things to try and support the animals. And we're just thrilled to be able to use what we have to bring to the table to help with that. So I'd like to introduce our team tonight. I, again, am Meredith Tollison. I'm your captain. I am down here in Tupelo, Mississippi, and glad to be joining you. Love that Zoom has given us this ability to all come together from all different parts and pieces of the universe. So Karen is my co-captain tonight. Karen, I hand it to you.
Hey, everybody, and I'm so thrilled to see you all here tonight. We are so honored to be working with Heather. I'm here in Boston, Massachusetts, and we are excited to talk to all of your animals tonight. I can already feel some of them tingling around my head. So just thank you all for coming and supporting Heather. She's an incredible human being, and we are so glad that she wanted to collaborate with us.
Thank you, Karen. Phoebe.
Hi, I'm Phoebe Hoffman, and I live in New York City.
And Heather Tawney.
Hi, I'm Heather Tawney, and I am an East Coaster as well. I'm from Maryland, and I'm looking forward to connecting with some of you and your animals.
Awesome. And Krista, our tech guru goddess for the evening.
Hi, everyone. I'm Krista, and my dog is barking currently as well. I'm also a member of the ACC, and yeah, I'm not reading tonight. I'm doing tech, but I'm so happy to be here. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Krista. So each of the 5 of us who have just introduced ourselves have donated a half-hour reading for the raffle drawing, which Heather will announce at the end of the event. So any of you who bought raffle tickets have the opportunity to win a half-hour reading with any of the 5 of us. I'd also like to mention that after this event through May 15th, anyone who books a reading with any of the 5 of us, we will also donate 15% of the price of that reading back to this organization. So another pretty cool bonus for Under One Sky. And last but certainly not least, I would like to introduce Jody Jacobs, our ACC ambassador, who connected us with Heather in the first place. So Jody, can you give us a little introduction?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Jody Jacobs. I'm from New York. I am the ACC ambassador and proud to be working with these lovely ladies. They do an amazing job. You're all going to be blown away tonight. And I'm so happy that we're here to help Heather with her wonderful rescue. She's an amazing person, and I'm really hoping we can raise some good money for her. So I hope everyone has a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Jody. So what we're going to do for the rest of the evening is we are going to intuitively pick from someone in the audience to offer an animal communication reading for an animal of your choice. This can be an animal that is alive or in spirit. It does not matter. We can communicate with them either way. We simply ask that you don't give us too much information. All we need to know from you is the name of your animal, the gender and species is good for us to have as well, and whether they're alive and in spirit. And then we will jump right in and give you a little reading for your animal. We're going to be working in pairs, sharing the information as it comes in to us. We're going to do as many as we can get through. We would like to begin, however, by working with our incredible hostess with the mostest, with one of her fabulous kitties, who has been the star of most of our Facebook and Instagram graphics as we've been promoting this event. His name is Beluga. And we would like to ask Heather to give us the opportunity to do a super quick, each of the 4 readers, we're just going to drop in and do a super quick little reading of Beluga. And then Heather has a question she'd like to ask him. Everybody good with starting out like that?
Super excited.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Heather, give us all just a moment to clear and connect with Beluga. He is a male cat, alive.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll begin and then ask Phoebe to pick up, and we'll go on from there. ACC ladies, y'all good with that?
Yep.
Ready to roll.
So I already feel super connected with Beluga. There's just something about him that feels like he's an old friend. Like we've known each other forever. And it's that kind of old friend that you don't talk to on the telephone or see in person for years at a time. But when you see each other, it's like you start the conversation with, and another thing, and you just pick up right where you left off. He's coming into me very straightforward and very friendly, but also very direct. Like he's not going to feed me a line of anything. He's just going to tell it like it is. And I see him sitting in front of me, just going, okay, I've got something to say, and here's where we're going with this. Does that sound like Beluga to you, Heather?
Yeah. It does, actually.
All right, Phoebes.
Okay, so I'm getting that Beluga, he's been through so much trauma and tragedy. And there's a feeling that he really didn't think he would ever end up in a situation like he has with you. He did not have a lot of love. He was tossed around, and he's really growing into his comfort with his new life, his new home, his new body. But it's really been an uphill battle. But he has such an old soul. There's so much kindness and compassion, and he's still interested. He still has a lot of curiosity, which even though he's been through a whole lot of crap, it never let up.
wow, that's part of what I wanted to know from him. Yeah.
And when Beluga first came into me, I could feel his physical presence with a lot of pride. He has this huge heart, and he came in with his chest forward to say hello to me. And he said, "Look at what she does. I'm so proud of her." And he also let me know that he keeps his eye on all the other kitties. And he basically was telling me he's kind of like the mayor of your cat town. Does that make sense to
Wow.
you?
All of this is resonating so
Okay.
much with
Good.
him. I just could never put it into words before.
Heather,
Yeah,
what are you picking up?
so far pretty
Heather
accurate.
Tawny? Oh, good.
So when I invited Beluga in, I immediately felt this gentle softness about him, and like I kept getting the word squishy, just squishy, and I too also heard the words old soul, and um, he looks like he's always on watch to me. I have I have a herding dog, and he's always on, high alert. That's what I'm seeing from Beluga. I'm seeing him just looking over everybody and just being on top of everything. And see what else he wants to share. I felt this expansion in my chest, and it was almost like my heart was beating out of my chest. And I was like, okay, am I just nervous, or is this Beluga?
Beluga. It's Beluga.
Like his
For
heart
sure.
is just so big that it's coming out from him. And he just feels so lovable.
He's boy, ladies, you guys hit the nail on the head with everything. And I can't wait to share this recording with my husband because he's gonna freak out. Beluga is the watcher, and he has a nervous energy because he's the watcher. And he's the one, now that you guys have read him, I just want to say he's the one that, is hardest to see him try to get around because of the way his legs cross in the front. And he seems more challenged than the other ones with that. So my question was really just, is he enjoying his life, like with the paralyzed situation? Like you guys hit it on the head. Like he was not, this is like, whoa, why did this happen to me or something, and he was a stray kitten, and he got shot with a BB gun from a distance in the spine. And then he was found by another rescue person who also rescued his siblings. And then he was tossed around. He went to a vet that just kept him in a little cage and let him poop and pee on himself. And before I got him, so it was really tragic. And so I just want to know that he's happy, really, like being in this the way he is. I try to give him the best life possible, but he's the one that I was just wondering if he is okay being here and happy in this life that he has now with me.
Let's ask him that question, Heather. Let's ask him. So your main question is he happy? Is he
okay with what his situation is with the legs and everything, the way they are paralyzed? And
okay?
it's,
Okay. So is he happy, and is he okay with where he is and the life he's living right now? Does that sound like the question you want to ask him?
Yeah, basically, in a nutshell, yeah.
Yeah. So I immediately see an image of Beluga literally with like all his climbing gear and a snowy peak, and he's got a backpack, and he's got an ice pick, and he's got rappelling ropes and those little carabiners and everything, and he is literally climbing a mountain. So I'm asking him in that, is he showing me that he feels like there's a mountain in front of him that he's still trying to climb, or is he showing me something else about that? And what he's showing me about that is he feels that he and this is kind of a knowing that I have this visual of him climbing Mount Everest, literally, that yes, he knows this is an enormous hill to climb, but he's also showing me the success that he's having in surmounting an insurmountable obstacle. He feels very confident in his ability to get to this peak because of the situation he's in right now.
Okay, good. I try to do everything for them and let them have like the best life, the most treats, the best blankets and everything. And so,
Yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
I just want
Absolutely.
to know that he's happy.
That's the first thing that he shows me. He knows he has a mountain to climb, but he's also really excited about climbing that mountain.
Okay.
Evie, what do you get?
So I don't get so much that it's about happiness. It's really more about relief. It's like any human being, you go through life, everything's a struggle. Beluga had so many obstacles that the fact that he can just breathe and sit and not worry about somebody attacking him is enough. And that's the thing about him. And he's even tying this into you, Heather. It's about, you don't have everything you ever wanted and you don't have maybe the dream life, but you have enough, and enough is enough.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's great. And when I asked Beluga about his condition and is he happy with his life, he said, I'm proud of what I represent. So he said his soul's alignment with coming to you, and now that we're all together and the things that you're doing about bringing awareness to paraplegic kitties, and that there's more to life than what meets the eye, is what I hear him say. And he's actually very proud of his role right now. Does that make sense? So he's grateful to you, but he's also very proud.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And when I checked in with him on this question, I heard the words contentment for where he is. And I saw this picture of him and you, and this golden light going from him, like all around, like a halo around his head, and it's extending out across to you and wrapping around you as well.
That makes sense, because I feel like I'm super, super connected to him. Like
Mhm.
really strong connection with, I have a lot of them and I love them all. And we have different levels. I have different levels of connection with each of them. But with him, it's like there's a really strong connection. So that's awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for doing that. I want to take up time from many of the other participants, but I really appreciate it. That's really amazing. And you guys literally spot on with his, personality and everything. I'm just blown away. Thank you, ladies, so much.
Oh, you're so
Thank you,
welcome.
Heather. Thank you. And I do feel that sense of connection between you and Beluga. So watch that carefully, because there's a lot of work that you guys are doing together.
They're all teachers, all these little disabled animals, but he's a teacher for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So all of you in attendance, that's a little example of how we will be working with your animals tonight. I'd just like to remind everyone that if you would like to have a reading, we do wish that you would have your camera on. If you have your camera off, we assume that that is you saying that you're not open to having a reading in public. It can be a little bit of a vulnerable feeling, and we understand that. So if your camera is off, please know that we will not be selecting you for a reading, because we will respect your privacy in that regard. If your camera is on, we will be choosing people intuitively, and we will ask you if you're open to having a reading. We will assume that you are, but we will ask you. And if you're not, please let us know, because we're not going to jump into anyone's space. We are going to choose this in the way that we feel it's going to go best for everyone. And I'm kind of scanning. I'm a little distracted because I'm kind of being drawn to some people on the screen. And we're going to get started doing these readings now. We'll fit in as many as we can over the course of the evening, and hope that you all enjoy it. Just a reminder, we just need your animal's name, species, gender, and whether they're alive or in spirit. Don't share any more than that, because it's really good for us to know that we are getting the information intuitively and directly from the animal, and that we're not being influenced by any of the information that you're sharing with us. We will give you a chance to ask a question and give you a chance for a little bit of feedback after your reading. So that's how we'll begin. Okay, I'm going to select the first person for a reading this evening, and I am being drawn to, I don't know how to pronounce this, Louis, L-U-I.
Yes, Louie. I go by Louie.
Louie. Hi,
Mhm.
Louie. I'm going to drag you up to the top of the screen so I can see you. Are you open to having a reading this evening?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So can you tell me the name of your animal?
Kylo,
Can you spell that?
short-haired. Kylo, Kylo.
Kylo. And what is this, a dog or a cat or something else?
It's a cat, male.
Cat male. And is he alive or in spirit?
He's alive.
Okay. That's all we need. Kylo. So give me just a moment to connect with Kylo and see what he has to share with us tonight. Kylo is coming into me very open and a little bit, I'm hearing the word a little bit vulnerable, but what I'm seeing, the image that I'm seeing is Kylo walking out like onto a sunny dock overlooking a lake and rolling over on his back. So his belly's fully exposed. It's like he's lying on his back with all fours just spread eagle and loving the sunbeam, just absorbing it, the warmth into his belly. I'll tell you that when I get imagery of animals, it's rarely, sometimes, but rarely actually how they appear in life. It's really more of a representation of something energetically that they want to share with me. So I'm seeing this this long belly hair, like he's got really, really fluffy belly hair, but I see it extending like tendrils and grabbing the sunbeams and pulling it down to himself. It feels like he's saying, I'm open to all of this, but if it's not coming to me, I'm going to go get it and bring it to me. Does that make sense in terms of his personality?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I'm getting about Kylo. Phoebe.
Okay, so Kylo is immediately connecting himself to you, Louie. How you're a very, in a way, you don't like when things are too complicated. You like a simplification in life. It's like Kylo is saying that life can be very overwhelming for him, for you. And it's not a laziness, but sometimes it's like he's a little aloof or a little idle. And he's saying that you all the time feel like, you're not getting to exactly what you want to get to. And he's sort of this reminder there for you always that, it's enough. You're doing enough and don't beat yourself up about it, because he's saying he senses a lot of anxiety in you, a lot of feeling like things are incomplete or there's something more that you want and you're just not good enough to do it. There's just a lot of emotional attachment, and he's not that complex. He's very easygoing, but he's extremely intelligent. It's like he's showing me that the way he looks at you, and you have this very penetrating gaze together, this eye contact, that that's enough for him. He's very okay being where he is, but he's saying that you are really on like the crux of changing your life in some way, that you're still unsure about things. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So the next visual image that Kylo is showing me is a hamster ball. Those plastic balls, like you put your hamster, your guinea pig in it, and they can roll around, but they're in this ball. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yes.
And the knowing that I get around that is that Kylo, and he's showing me this about you as well, he really wants to go and do and see life, but he wants this protection around him.
Mm-hmm.
And so I see the image of him and running in this hamster ball. And then he gets to the edge of a small set of steps that's like in a split level house that goes down to the next room. And he goes, whoa, and stops himself before he rolls and bounces down the steps. He's asking for a sense of exploration and a sense of going and doing things, but he wants this protection around him. And this feels like a representation of you. Like, he's saying that you really have lots of things that you want to experience, but you're a little bit nervous about that and would like to have this hamster ball. So you're going at it. And then you get to the brink of just where it could be either exciting or dangerous or a whole new adventure. And you're like, whoa, hang on. Let me reevaluate that. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm also getting something about he's expressing the difference between being alone and loneliness. He actually enjoys being alone. And he's saying that you, no matter what's going on in your life, you need to rejuvenate by being alone. There's only so much of people you can take before you're just done. And he's even saying that, you know, sometimes you'll walk in, you've been out, it could be a simple errand or it could be something more personal, and that you just need the comfort of being in a sanctuary. You need that freedom. He's talking about how liberated he feels not having to be on, not having to perform at all. And he likes that about you. And he's saying that you very much, you don't want to have to perform for anybody. It's so tiring for you. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So Louis, what would you like to ask Kylo?
I've always just been curious because he was gifted to me. He's my first cat ever, and just want to know if he's happy or what can I do to make his life, like, for him to feel happier. Because like when I leave sometimes, or if I'm not in the same room with him, he yowls. And so I just want to know, like, what do you want from me, babe? What can I give you?
So I'd like to rephrase that question a little bit, because it's so easy for us to drop into what we believe is a representation of happy versus what they believe is content and representation of happy. So I'd like to just ask him, what is it that he needs from you? How does he feel about your life together? And what is it that he needs from you at this point in his life?
Yes.
Does that sound like a decent?
Yes, that's perfect.
I'm seeing that belly rub again. I'm seeing that those tendrils of, it's like his belly here when he's lying in the sun is turning into these vines, these jungle vines, and it's reaching up and literally pulling happiness in. And I'm hearing the words from him that if it's not immediately in your vicinity, you have the ability to get it and bring it to you. Let me ask for the words here. That whatever the definition of happiness is not always the definition of happiness. It's going to be different for every person. It's going to be different for every animal. These words are coming in so fast to me that he's like, don't wait for it to come to you, go get it. And there's a connection between the two of you that's a little bit of a lesson that he's trying to share with you. Don't sit there and wonder, am I happy? What can I do to be more happy? What are the things that I need to be bringing into my life? Get them and bring them to you, that you have the ability to find your own happiness. That's not necessarily an answer to your question, but it is in a roundabout way. He feels content. He feels happy. He feels very, very connected to you, but he wants to see you reaching out and bringing more to yourself because you're perfectly capable of seeing it. It feels like it's right out of reach, but it's not quite right out of reach. If you just reach a little, you see me reaching just a little farther, you can bring that into you.
And I'm also getting about the yowling, as you put it, that he likes when you're around. He likes to keep an eye on you. There's something very safe for him just when you're there. And he also says that there's enough times during the day where you can all of a sudden feel very unsettled or even panicky, that you can be fine one moment and then the next moment you just feel thrown off. You'll have a dark thought or just an uncomfortable thought. And he's really picking up on that because you're a very deep person. And because you're so deep, you also have a lot of darkness along with the light. And he really picks up on that and he really feels it.
How does that feel to you, Louie? Does that feel like good messages from Kylo?
Yeah, it really does. And I don't know, I feel like I'm really in tune with him because a lot of the stuff that you guys told me, like I had been thinking it in my bed, in my head especially. I've been looking at cat backpacks to take him with me because I know he likes being on his harness and stuff, but I know if he was on a backpack, he'd feel more like confident. And so yeah,
there's a confidence that comes from you two together. Yeah, that you can build off of each other. build off of each other back and forth and back and forth. And building his confidence is also going to build yours.
Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing Kyla with us and for being open to reading in front of all these people. All right, Phoebe.
Okay, I am being drawn to Liz. Liz, are you up for this?
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Yes, your animal's name and all the information.
You'll have to excuse me. I just lost her. Juno, domestic short hair, and I just lost her
How long ago did you lose her?
last week.
Okay. We usually give it more time. What do you guys think about this? You think we should just go for it to give time for the animal to transition? Okay.
Absolutely. I say go for it. But Liz, please be aware that when you've lost an animal, your grief is obviously very strong.
Yeah.
If you feel comfortable sharing this in front of all these people, we're happy to try and connect. But know that your grief and the amount of time that it's been since your animal has passed, she's still kind of getting her sea legs, so to speak, on the other side. So if you're comfortable with it, we'll absolutely try. But just know that that grief is a very
I
real
might
thing.
ugly cry, but as long as you guys don't care, I'm good with that.
We do not care, and I might ugly cry with you. Yeah. So if you're fine with that, Phoebe, do you feel okay with that?
Yeah, no, I'm
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Okay, so right off the bat, I'm sorry, did you say, is Juno a male or a female?
Female.
Okay. So Juno, it's this knowing that she represented a lot of things in your life that you did not have, especially growing up. She just wants to go right to the jugular right now. And she's saying she was an anchor for you. She was this point and came to you in your life at a time where you needed the purity and the innocence of her soul. Okay. And this is something you need all the time, but she allowed you to really just be in a certain state of mind where you were able to relax with her, because what she is telling me is that relaxation is extremely difficult for you. When people say, oh, you just got to chill out, it's like, what are you talking about? How am I supposed to chill out in this world? How do I chill out? It's never been easy for you. And there's been a lot of hurt. And she's also saying she wanted to warm your life up because a lot of people have been very cold for you. And you do not respond well to coldness, to iciness, to people that are just alienated and not friendly. It's really, she's saying that was a role she played in your life deeply. And your emotions, you have a very strong emotional intelligence, which has not been easy for you. It's been very hard for you to really find people that you can truly talk about what you want to talk about, because she's even saying that you have a lot of opinions and you're very strong-willed, but there's very few people you can really share those thoughts with. Does that make sense?
Oh my God, 100%.
Okay, Heather.
So when I invited Juno in, I got this image. I saw her on a surfboard, surfing big time waves. And she had this feeling behind it of this confidence and this ability to take anything that was coming her way. And I get the sense that she rode a lot of waves with you, because she said the words, sometimes these were with Liz. And she's showing me that she's still riding those waves, but is doing so in a way where it's a little less bumpy and a little more stronger, and she feels strong, she feels confident, and she feels like she's in a good place right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's comforting.
Phoebe?
Yeah, and she's expressing that when you were together, you were able to just be. And there's also something about you and men, there's something about male energy and the roughness and people having rough exteriors that she's bringing up, that it's not that it's hard for you to let people in because of anything inept about you. You're such an open person. You're so open-minded and you're so interested. And she's saying that when you find something that captivates you, you have to go for it. You can't turn your mind off. She's also saying in education for you, you will always be a thing. Until you take your last breath, you're always going to be learning. And this deep introspection you have has really weighed on you because it's almost like you could have this loop in your head of obsessing over one thing someone says. It's almost like feeling like, did somebody just say something awful to me because they meant it? Was that their intention? Or are they just being a jerk? It's like there's a lot of feelings that a lot of people you run into aren't the kindest, or it's very hard to know their motivations. And people who have made you feel good are few and far between. And Juno also is very much giving you a message of no matter what, it's always going to be quality over quantity for you. You are not a numbers person, and you're not somebody who's going to really enjoy most people. You're very particular. And she's saying that's what she loved about you, that you can never be inauthentic. It's not who you are. It's not in your nature ever in any situation. Does that resonate?
Yep, it does.
And to piggyback onto that with Phoebe there, when I was asking what else she would like to share, she showed me this video of her, and she's standing up on her hind legs like a human would, and she's pointing at people like there's an audience in front of her, and she's like, I like you, I like you, oh, screw you, I like you, I like you. And when Phoebe said that the particularness of her, and she showed me this video of that happening, like she's choosy of her audience, and who she's willing to participate with, and she was a little sassy about it too.
She was sassy. She was a calico.
Okay, that makes sense. So she's feeling that, she's showing me all of that information, but at the same time, she takes a step back, and she sits down quietly, and she kind of puts her head down and is looking down and is very introspective. And I have this warm feeling around me right now, like as if she's sitting in my lap, and feeling the heat from her, and this loving presence of just warmth coming off from her. Like, was she a little heater for you? Like,
And she was a lap cat.
yeah, yep, that's what I feel right now. Just this awesome softness and warmth from her on my lap.
Oh, I love that.
So do you have a question for her?
I do. Was she ready to go?
So, I mean, in my experience, they're all, for the most part, pretty much ready. This was not a surprise. And what she's really pointing to is, even though you know this because you were with her through the whole process, there's always that feeling of guilt that lingers. There's always that feeling, did I make the right decision? And this is something that's sort of thematic in your life of feeling, oh God, did I make the right choice? I don't know. There's a lot of hesitation. There's a lot of second guessing yourself. And she's saying, this doesn't need to be thought about. It needed to happen this way. This was absolutely the time. It's painful, no doubt, but you were very accommodating with her. You looked for cues always. You're very communicative yourself, and you have a very strong intuition, and you knew, even though you're always going to be somewhat indecisive just about everything.
Thank you.
So I received some of the same information about, yes, this was her time, and that she's just in different energy right now, and that she was ready. This is something that she chose, and that this is all part of her life with you. It isn't over, it's continuing on. And she's sending this vibration right now. Like, I feel her in my lap again, but she's sending out this wave of vibration out to you. And I don't know if you can feel it or not, but it goes along with the surfing, of course. But wave action is coming out from, emitting from her. And she wants you to be open to feeling that throughout your day. If you feel like a certain wave, or like a little chill or something, that, or like a gentle brush from a wave, know that that's her, and that she is still there. She may be going through her transition into a different form of energy, but she is still vibrating towards you, and I can sure feel it. I hope you can too.
Thank
that
you
make
both so much. That helped a huge amount.
You're very welcome.
You're welcome. Okay, it's my turn to pick somebody intuitively. I couldn't see everybody on my screen. I have a little iPad, so I'm going to choose another Heather. Heather Oakes, are you open? Okay. Krista, can you unmute her, please? Krista?
There we go.
All right. So, hi, Heather. Are you open
Hi.
to a reading here from me and Karen?
Yes.
Okay.
So many options I could give you, but I'm going to go with Riley. And
boy.
he is he is a dog.
Okay.
And he is with us.
How do you spell Riley?
Riley.
I used to have a Riley spelled that way too.
Aw.
Okay, and did you say, did he cross over, or is he alive?
No, he's here.
He's here, he's alive, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Got all that, Karen?
Got it.
Ready? Okay.
I'm ready. Yep.
All right. So we're going to invite Riley in to connect with us. Hold on, I gotta disconnect from Juno first. Oop, forgot that. Okay. All right. Okay. So inviting Riley into the safe space in my head, I see, I must need a vacation to Hawaii or something. I'm seeing this dog dressed in a hula skirt.
Oh Lord.
And it's like he's totally he's got this mellow presence about him, and he's just like, he's doing this little dance of swaying back and forth in a gentle manner. He's he's got this like funny personality coming out from that, like, who shows up in a hula skirt, but what dog? So I'm seeing this like juxtaposition personality of like this laid back, chill, but like also like funny character. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Karen?
So Heather, when I connected with Riley, the first thing that came through were his eyes. Like, he came right forward with me with these really deep, sensitive eyes that when he looked at me, I could feel his heart. And he made me feel like he's very sensitive around his emotions, and that he's very concerned about paying attention to your emotions, and that he's very present with your emotions at the same time, he then showed me his feet. And now I don't know if this is really what he looks like, but he's showing me these big feet. He's like, look at these feet. At the same time, he's being this really sensitive guide. Does this make sense to you?
Yes.
And so I asked Riley what he wanted to share with us today. And he's showing me this video of him in a patch of grass somewhere where sun is beating down on him, and he's rolled over onto his side, stretching out, rolling over to his back, stretching out. And it's like he's very particular about each movement that he's making, and he's taking his time. Each of them is done with a breath, like a sigh, like he's trying to relax and let everything go. And he's showing me that in the sun, but he's also showing that there's a mirror above him, and he is trying to mirror something that you are doing, of trying to release and let go of things and using your breath to do so. And he's showing it like there's this this feeling of like something is getting in his mind. It makes him antsy, like really antsy and frustrated. And then he's just sighing it out and letting it go. And he's saying, I'm mirroring Heather. I'm trying to be a model for her. That this isn't easy. This is something that is definitely a work in progress, where he's just trying to let loose little by little. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Karen?
And when I asked him to tell me more about what's going on and what does he want you to know, I actually started to feel a lot of pressure in my head and in my forehead. Like I felt a little weighed down. And he said to me, Mom's worried. Mom's worried about me. Does this resonate with you? I actually felt a little bit of a sway in my body too. Like I felt maybe slightly a little bit off balance and dizzy. What are you trying to say about this, buddy? He makes me feel like you're worried about him, and he is trying to stay very grounded right now for himself and his body, and also for you. He makes me feel like he's trying to stay very kind of together and grounded for you, but that you're worried about him. Is this making sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe this will transition into your question. I have a feeling. Heather, what do you think?
Yeah, that's a possibility. So what question do you have for Riley?
So I guess, yeah, what I kind of feel, so he's a baby. He's only a little over a year old. But we just lost, I know I'm going to cry.
It's okay.
We just lost his brother 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
okay.
So, I guess that's where my worry comes from him, because he's never not had a brother around. So I get worried that he's lonely, or I don't know if he understands that like Brady's gone and not coming back, like that kind of thing.
Okay.
So I guess I just want to make sure he's okay.
so we got to make sure the intention is right with this question here.
Yeah.
A bit so we don't get gobbledygook answers. So would you want to ask, how are you feeling after losing your brother, or what do you think, Karen? Does that sound right to you? Or
Yeah. Something around what does Mom need to know about how you're doing with Brady being gone?
does that
Yes.
sound?
Does that sound
Or
good?
if there's anything we can do for him.
Okay. And if there's anything that he needs.
Yes.
Okay.
So when I asked the question, how does he feel about this transition point? I heard the words that I'm okay, things are different, but I'm going to be the boss now. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a surprise.
And what do you need from Heather, Riley, at this time? He says, now I get all the snuggles. And I like those. And know that, he says, tell Heather that she needs to know that I am okay. I am okay. I keep hearing those words. I am okay. I miss my brother, but I'm okay. Aaron?
So the first thing he showed me was you holding him. When I asked, does he know about his brother? And he showed me you holding him and crying. And he said he wants to comfort you. It's a lot for him to know what to do to comfort you. And he said if you would, something about going outside with him more, going outside with him and let him take you outside. He's saying let him go on walks with you more, so that you can talk to him about his job, his new job, because he says he was a little surprised at first when Brady left, because Brady took care of a lot of stuff that he didn't have to deal with. And so now he makes me feel like he's like, okay, so he's looking at you and saying, what's my job? Like, how do I do this? So the more you can just talk to him about who he is in the house and his role with you, it will help him settle into being who he's supposed to be for you, because he makes me feel like he was kind of in second command behind the boss, and now the boss is gone. Is this making sense to you?
Completely.
Okay. So the more you can just explain to him who he is and how he fits in the family, not because right now he's sitting there looking at me going, I have to do all that. So whatever all that means to between him and Brady, help define who he is in your family based on his personality. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
And also snacks. He just yelled, also snacks, like that. Just,
He's very food driven.
When Karen was talking, I also saw this picture of Heather doing like a trust fall, kind of leaning back, and Riley like propping her up. And then when Karen started talking about his role, and he's like, he showed me, you have to be very clear with me in your head. Show me pictures in your head so I know what my goal is, and not like what you don't want me to do, but what you do want me to do.
Okay. Yep, completely.
All right. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it a lot.
We're so sorry for your loss, Heather.
Thank you.
Just so you know, I mean, we would have to do a longer rating, but Brady's definitely all around you. I can feel him like he's all around here. So you can talk to him and ask him to help you with your baby. Ask him to help you with Riley.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. We are going to go to the next one. Two crazy cat ladies. Would you guys be up for a reading with me and Meredith?
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah?
This stuff is difficult. We're like sitting over here crying.
I've been watching your kitties walk back and forth
Uh-huh.
behind you.
Yeah.
There was a black one that was going back and forth. I'm
Yeah.
glad to love a black kitty. And now this one that's sitting up there, I love it.
And they're like, hey, hey,
Absolutely.
hey.
Me.
Exactly. So I'm like, all right.
They're like, they're crying. We have to go take care of them all.
Yeah, they're coming to take care of us. Well, we also have a window, so.
Okay. So if you guys are up for it, we'd love to do a reading for you.
Yeah, I think we talked about it beforehand. We'd love to hear from Oliver Twist, male.
Twist. Okay.
With us. Yeah.
Twist, male and alive.
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Okay. That's all we need. So just give us a minute. Meredith and I are going to get in the zone. Thanking Riley for sending his messages and disconnecting. And now we will call in Oliver Twist. I barely get connected to him, and he's like, hey. And he's such a dude. Like, he's just like, And he's like, he's actually showing me his butt and going, this is hot.
He is so
Like,
sexy.
He's like showing me his butt and going, this is hot. He's kind of a character, the way that he's coming into me right now.
Okay, I see him rolling in on roller skates. And Karen, when you say this is hot, do you mean like this is hot, like look how good looking I am?
Yeah, like look how hot this butt is. Like, this is a hot butt.
I don't know if y'all saw me. As soon as you said his name, I was touching my face, and I'm like, Jesus, do I have a fever? Am I having a hot flash? What's going on here? I literally felt my body temperature rising, but I see him, and I think there's a meme that shows up on Facebook and online somewhere. He's coming in on roller skates, but wearing like little teeny tiny sparkly Speedo kind of things, and he's coming in, and he really is coming in butt first, like, here I am, look at this. And it feels to me like he's being kind of funny about it, and he's strutting, which makes me think of another meme. He's strutting and he's like, everybody check this thing out. But it feels like he's also being a little bit funny, and y'all can't see me like rubbing my right booty cheek. He's being a little bit funny, and he's like, I'm making light of the situation, but there's something going on with my hind end that requires some attention.
Really?
And maybe it's just that he thinks it's that good looking, but he wants very much to be drawing attention to that. And I hear him say, I have an interesting marking. But you need to get in here and check all this out.
Okay, so that's interesting, Meredith, because as you talked to me about that, he actually brought me to his lower back and his hips. He's not telling me anything's really terribly wrong, but he's telling me like they get a little, like there's a little stiff. Actually, do you guys ever do chiropractic work with your kitties?
Because we have, but not with him.
But not with Twist.
He's showing me, he makes me feel like he's pretty strong, like a physically like active cat. And he makes me feel like his lower back, like the upper part of the sacrum above the hips, is a little kinked up in there. Like he could use a little release. I don't know if it's acupressure or a little, but it's like, I can feel my spine. Like I have Chinese medicine background. So like, but the spine, like sacrum, the top sacrum vertebrae, not the lumbar ones, but right below that first area, like a little to kind of loosen stuff up back there is what he's showing me about his body. He's very he's very much in his body. He's a cat that's like digs his body. Is what he's telling me.
He's sexy.
Is he sexy? Okay.
He's very sexy.
He likes his sparkly like unicorn Speedos a whole lot, but he is rolling with the roller skate imagery, and then he's showing me sort of like a time life history of roller skates. So he's going from whatever the thing is now to rollerblades. Remember when they got to be a big thing, to literal lace up skating rink, backwards skating roller skates to the old metal ones that you put on over your shoes and you had a key that cranked them shut. And he's telling me that he's sort of old school in the way he thinks about things. Like he's like, yeah, chiropractic, woo woo, animal communication, woo woo. He feels a little bit like a grouchy old man going, oh, don't be ridiculous. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. But he's kind of looking over his shoulder going, but maybe like he feels like he would rather drink a beer or a whiskey on the rocks than a Cosmo or something. He just feels kind of a anchored old man, like he might stand out front and say, get off my lawn. There's something about him that's I'm not going to say misogynist, but that word did come in my mind. There's something about him that likes it his way, the old way, the way things ought to be, and he's just not very open to moving from crank roller skates to rollerblades, but he really sort of is, because he likes his sparkly Speedos. He's riding that line. Going, no, I'm the old grouchy man. And then I'm really flamboyant and I'm going to backward skate on my rollerblades through the park. Is this a duality of his personality that I'm picking up on?
He is 18.
He's our old man.
He's an old man.
Yeah. And he's
get off my lawn.
Yeah. And he's definitely an old soul. He, the story of like how he found us, like he literally came to us in our backyard and jumped on our lap and was like,
hey, don't tell us too much because we still got to get to your question.
Sorry.
Because then you'll be like, they already knew that. So.
But it does resonate. He is an old man. He's
starting to slow down,
but
okay,
a little bit, but yeah.
And the hips make sense.
Might be.
So what's your question?
I think that we would just like to know, he is everyone's caretaker. We've got a bunch of cats and he is always taking care of them. What can we do to make sure he's living his best life?
Okay.
Other than taking him to the chiropractor.
Yeah.
So he's the caretaker and you're concerned about how to take care of him. And I'm also hearing a backup to that question is, how do you take care of everyone else also when it reaches the point where he can't? Am I correct in hearing that part of the question?
Yeah, maybe. That is, yeah.
Karen, how would you rephrase that question? It feels like there was an unsaid piece there.
I think I would open-end it a little bit and just ask Oliver Twist, you're kind of the senior in the house. And so what do we need to know to help you with that role and for yourself and for the others? Does that make sense? Does that sound okay? Well, let's see what he says, see what he wants to bring through based on, okay. All right, Oliver Twist.
I'm going to jump right in, Karen, while you're connecting, because I'm
hearing some stuff, so go for it.
Yeah, I immediately had an image of him doing doing a back bend. Any of you heard yoga people doing, the bridge where you bend over backwards and you do that? But he's showing me that over a stream, over a cavern, over something. And he's got this a little bit chubby belly, but this kitty cat body literally creating a bridge from point A to point B. And he's showing me that with his body. He is the bridge. He is going to be the bridge. He is currently the bridge and will be the bridge to get from where we are to where we're going to be. He's going to show you that with his body, with himself, with his energy.
He also said to me something about his digestion, like if he could eat small meals a bunch of times a day versus having to eat so much at once. He also made me feel like he wants more. There are times when he just wants peace, like away from the other cats, and to have his own space and his own bed, and to have it actually be to feel very calm. He actually was showing it to me. I saw the yoga thing too, Meredith, but it was more like, you know, the sound of the chimes and the Zen thing that when you're left alone, you can just breathe. He's like, sometimes I just need a break from the rest of them, is what he just said to me. And that would be really helpful. He actually shows me one of you. I don't know who it is. Somebody's whispers in his ear. And he really loves that. Like somebody's just like, I love you, buddy. Like it's okay. Except maybe you both do it, but he loves that peaceful energy that you guys give him once in a while. And just breaking things down for him in smaller pieces, he would really appreciate. He says there's one or two that aggravate him sometimes. He's like there's one or two. He's like, you know what? They just aggravate me sometimes, like that. And he likes when you give him his peace and his space. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All of that is spot on.
Okay.
It's amazing.
He's a cool dude. Very cool dude.
He is. Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Awesome.
And thank you for coming and for sharing your baby with us.
Absolutely.
Okay. Meredith, who is next?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in and let's do another one. We got time. Heather Tawney, will you join me in this? I am being drawn to Pamela Spicer.
Okay. Hi, Pamela.
Hi, Pamela. So who have you got? Oh, you're on mute.
There we go. Hi. I've got Milo. He's a cat and he is alive.
Male. Alive. Milo the cat, male, alive. Milo wants me to take my glasses off. He feels like he prefers a little bit of a calmer, more, he's showing me like Hollywood starlet, you know, filmed through cheesecloth where everything's a little softer. He doesn't want anything to be very sharp. He wants a softness, a little bit of a, well, blurriness is the word that's coming to me because I can't see so well without my glasses on, but he likes things with soft edges, anything sharp, loud, noisy, impactful. He would prefer to, do you guys remember the book, Ferdinand the Bull, who just wanted to smell the flowers?
Yes.
Milo would prefer just to smell the flowers. He's a lover, not a fighter. He doesn't want anything super sharp or loud or anything. He's a little bit of a sensitive soul and prefers a little blurriness around him. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
So when I invited Milo in, I got this video of, and it reminded me of him. He's laying on the floor, he's stretched out, and he's kind of rolling around. And the image that I have that it reminds me of is Madonna when she was on the MTV Awards, rolling across the stage, like he's on stage. And he's like, look at me, look at what I'm doing. And he has this sense about him of like, I need to be the center of attention at all times. And I like it. Don't look away from me. You cannot, you can't take your eyes away from me. Does that make sense to you?
Oh my gosh, that is completely makes sense. So Milo.
He was putting on this production like Madonna. That's pretty wild.
He does that. It's amazing.
But it feels to me like the feeling of being on stage and all of the stage lights are shining at you and you know that you're the center of attention and you know that you're doing the performance, but you really can't see the faces in the audience. It's the performance for the sake of the performance and not necessarily for the applause or the accolades or anything. It's almost like he just enjoys being up on the stage and he wouldn't care if there was anybody out in the house or not. The lights are shining on him. The red velvet curtains are around. There's an elaborate backdrop, and I'm seeing like an opera singer with, like a Wagnerian opera singer with the Viking horns and everything. He's really appreciating being the center of attention, but he doesn't really care if anyone's out there. It's just the knowing that he's on the stage and he's the star of the show.
That's incredible. I don't know how you know that, but that is completely Milo.
So do you have a question for Milo?
When we got Milo, he was 14 months old and we don't know anything about him at all. So I was just kind of curious, what was before us?
Apparently he was a Wagnerian opera singer.
And Madonna's backup dancer. Or choreographer. Let me see.
We're asking Milo what he would like to share with us about his life before he came to be with you.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to ask that in the context of how does that relate to you? What is it that you need to know about that for your relationship?
I just want to know if, I guess.
Well, let's ask him.
Okay. All right.
Let's ask him.
Milo, what do you want to share with Pamela about your life before her?
I'll tell you, he is lurking in the shadows for me. He looks like the Hamburglar from the old McDonald's commercials. He's wearing a mask and he's wearing a cape and he's wearing a big hat and he's hiding in the shadows. And it's like he doesn't want to be seen. He does, which is very contradictory to this whole big Madonna rolling around on stage. But it feels to me like that's not that important to him. He's lurking in the shadows, and that's a shadow that he kind of wants to leave behind him. I'm going to, while Heather shares what she's getting, I'm going to ask him if he's really trying to keep that to himself or if this is just something he doesn't want to talk about.
Okay. So when I asked him about that question, I immediately felt like I was in a dark space, and it was this space where I didn't like, the feeling I have behind it was I'm not safe. And I feel skittish. Like I feel like I have to dart from place to place to be safe. And I'm not, I'm really not comfortable or content. I feel like I'm always on the run kind of feeling, but it's dark for some reason. And I can't tell if it's indoors or outdoors. Like I feel like I see walls, but they don't seem like they're full on walls. Like they could be walls outside, like a half brick wall or something like that. But like it's this constant state of hiding out and zooming from place to place to keep my safety. Does that make sense? Am I rambling? I don't know.
I completely get that too, Heather. And it's almost like something out of a comic book or a comic book movie, but it's a very dark alley. And it's definitely that scooting from place to place. And I can kind of see, he's showing it to me sort of in a comical way, and then sort of also in a darker, frightening way. Like in the comical way, we get the Hamburglar hat on and he's going do, 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 and he's racing from behind a dumpster to behind a garbage can to behind a half wall to behind a gate. And then he's showing me a darker side where he's telling me it's actually frightening, a little fearful, a little anxiety, and hypervigilance, and literally sleeping with one eye open. And then he shows me like lying in a king size bed in a fancy hotel with, 2,000 count sheets or whatever it is, a jacuzzi and room service with a silver coffee pot. He feels like he's in the lap of luxury right now.
Oh, I love that so much. I'm so glad to hear that. He acts like it.
I asked when I asked him about how he feels being with me now, I just heard the words "ooh la la."
Oh my gosh, I love it so much.
Yeah. He feels very content where he is. He doesn't want to share like specific details about his past, but it definitely feels like it was less than comforting.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And now he's at the Ritz-Carlton and he's just fine with that.
Perfect. I love it. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, everybody, we're kind of at the end of our time together and we need to start wrapping up a little bit. I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. I'm going to hand it over to Heather to make some of the big announcements. And then I will say a few words before we move along our way.
Hi again. This is so awesome, by the way. I enjoyed every second of everybody's readings. You guys are amazing, and I'm literally blown away. So I hope anyone who didn't get to get a reading wants to get in touch with you guys, and I can definitely give the information to get their own reading. And on that note, the raffle winners, there were 5 people that won the raffle, and I'm gonna say who they are and who their reader will be. So Alice Duncan with Phoebe, Hannah Johansson with Krista, Jen Jacobs with Meredith, Ann Wilson with Heather, and Yana Victor with Karen. So congratulations, you guys that won the raffle and everyone that came. It's just been so awesome. I'm so happy that we did this. I just want to remind everyone that if you do get a reading, the ACC is going to donate 15% of their fee to Under One Sky. So that will help us with these crazy surgeries we have for 2 of our babies. But I just really, really appreciate you guys. You did this like for free, your time and everything. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Like, this was really, really amazing. And the money that we made from this is going to help us get 2 surgeries, one for Dexter, who needs a bladder stone removed, and that's the big one. It's like $1,500. And then little Jack, our newest rescue, who came to us from New Jersey, he needs to get neutered, but he has to be intubated because he has a congenital deformity which affects his lungs. His spine is kind of like this, and so it's kind of scary. I'm not looking forward to it, but it is going to be a bit pricey because of that. So this has been great. It's really helped a lot to get this stuff covered. So thank you guys. And I think if you can learn more about these lovely ladies at the animalcommunicationcollective.com.
Awesome. Thank you, Heather, for allowing us to do this work with you. Heather has put in so much time and effort to help us in planning this event. It's been phenomenal. We've loved learning about some of the kitties that she takes care of and the things that she does. If you are a raffle winner, look for an email from Heather in the next couple of days. She'll send you an email saying you want a reading with this person and send you our contact information. If any of you would like to book a private reading with any of us, please reach out to us. The information's all in the chat and will also be included in a follow-up email. And as Heather said, if you book between now and May the 15th, we will donate 15% of the cost of your booked session back to Under One Sky Animal Rescue. We're really looking forward to an ongoing partnership with Heather's organization. We feel like we kind of know some of these kitties by now, and we look forward to seeing how they all come through their surgeries and how they go into the rest of their lives in her capable hands. Thank you all for joining. Let's see if there's anything else we need to say. We appreciate your being here. It's a lot of fun. We love doing this work. Thank you to the great ACC team that's joined us tonight. We look forward to seeing any of you guys at future events. Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram and jump on our website. You can join our email and you can see when future events are coming up for other animal welfare organizations. We've got several lined up over the next couple of months, and we would love to see any of you there. So thank you so much. Everyone have a wonderful, wonderful night, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.